How's it going, YouTube? It's Maffu, and today I'll be showing you the best value commanders in Rise of Kingdoms. And for this video to be inclusive, I'm going to be doing pre-season of conquest and season of conquest. So starting off with pre-season of conquest, I'm going to start off with the commander Sunzu. Now Sunzu is actually one of my favorite commanders, and I used him a lot. As you can see, I have 27 million kills on him. I used him in KVK 1, I used him in KVK 2, and there are so many pairs they can use with Sunzu. And not only is he a great primary in KVK 1, he is a great secondary commander. Now let's go over his abilities really quick. He's an enhanced primary ability, which makes his ability target 5 troops, and his ability also generates rage based on how many troops they hit, which is a super valuable thing. Next, you get damage reduction and infantry health, and you get more skill damage. Now there's a couple commanders that give skill damage, and Sunzu is one of them, and he's a purple, which is amazing. A couple of the pairs you can do Bjorn primary, Sunzu secondary, Sunzu primary, Aleofled secondary, which is what I did in KVK 1, and Martel primary, Sunzu secondary, Alex primary, Sunzu secondary. There are many combos that you can do with Sunzu, and he's a great early game garrison for your city as well. The second early game commander you should be going for is Aleofled. Now she's a free legendary commander. You get all of her heads for absolutely free from the expedition game mode. Now if you don't know where that is in the campaign, expedition, and in the shop. You can buy her heads up here in the top right corner until she's maxed. Now Aleofled is a great secondary commander, and she's great in KVK 2 as well, behind Saladin, behind multiple commanders. She gives a debuff to 5 enemies. It's a pretty substantial debuff, 30% stats for 2 seconds. She's also good at rallying barbarian forts, and she does slow the enemy, which is why she's really good with Saladin, because Saladin does more damage to slowed enemies. Now I ran Sunzu Aleofled in KVK 1, and I also ran Alex Aleofled in KVK 2 when my hospital filled up and I had to use a mixed march. Alex Aleofled, she gets bonus damage for more troop types. As you can see here, if this commander is containing at least 3 different troop types, it gains 20% attack. So if you're running a mixed march, you could use Aleofled as well. The third commander I believe has a lot of value in KVK 1 is actually Methmid. Now I believe Methmid is super underrated and underused in KVK 1 and 2. His first 2 abilities are insane. He has an AoE ability which has a pretty decent damage factor, 1150, up to 5 enemies as well. The AoE is actually kind of small though, but it's not bad in a ball fight, and get 20% attack and 20% skill bonus. If you remember Sunzu's ability, he also had skill damage bonus. This is skill damage bonus plus attack. So a really popular combo is running a skill damage character with Methmid behind them, 5511 Methmid. Honestly, Methmid's 4th skill is also really good. You get bonus unit capacity, and no, this is also for field, not just rallies. I was confused about that too. But anyways, the reason he is on this list is because he's super versatile and honestly just underrated in general. You can run him behind most commanders, and you can run him behind most commanders in Season of Conquest 2 for a budget march. I was running Drone Prime with Methmid for a little bit, and honestly not awful. He is also good for city rallies if you're ever doing those. You get some bonus damage to city garrisons, and he has this direct damage to city garrisons and bonus unit capacity in rally army. And he's also really good as a budget. You only need him 5511, which is not too hard to get by opening gold keys. Now a very popular march in KVK 2 is Minamoto Methmid, because your YSG is better on the new commanders like Alex or Saladin. So as a secondary commander, you run Methmid. So if you're running 3 marches in KVK 2 and you're a whale, you probably run Alex YSG, Saladin Aleofled, Minamoto Methmid, and you're happy. If you're running a 4th march, you can throw Charles Martel there. He's still good. You can do Charles Sunzu. Now last but not least, we got probably the strongest commander of KVK 1, YSG, and arguably one of the stronger commanders in KVK 2. Let's not even argue, he is one of the strongest commanders in KVK 2. He's got a 5 enemy AoE with a pretty decent damage factor, 1400. His other 2 abilities aren't too amazing. The rage gain in this is nice. The last skill gets 50% skill damage. It's kind of crazy. Now his expertise actually turns his ability into a circle AoE, so it attacks everything around it. Super good for garrisons, and it increases the damage factor as well. Not only is YSG good on the field, rallies, and garrisons, he's also good for barbarian chaining. He's the first circle AoE commander you get in this game, and I think after playing this game for 300 days, and I played KVK 1 and KVK 2 twice, I think everyone should be investing in YSG, especially because the commander swap event is after KVK 2, so you can always swap YSG for a better commander after KVK 2. Now that's it for the pre-Season of Conquest commanders. Now I have 4 more commanders for the Season of Conquest, and we're going to be starting off with Luche. Now this is the commander I personally went for after the commander swap, and he is amazing. He can be used in many marches, including William Wallace Luche, Luche Alex, Luche Philip, BQ Luche. It's he's just so versatile on the field, and he is one of the best commanders in the game. He does some of the most damage. He has a 5 target enemy AoE smite damage factor, 2,250 damage, and 40% march speed reduction. That's kind of crazy. He gets a decent amount of stats here. Skill damage reduction is actually really good, because when you're in a ball fight, you're taking a lot of AoE skill damage, and with Luche, you're just taking less. He has some direct damage, so that's why people hate Luche city hoppers. It's because when they jump out, they hit him a couple times, get a bunch of direct damage, hop back in the city. And the 4th skill is not too amazing, but his expertise launches an extra combo attack, which is just a direct damage factor, and you gain extra rage. He is a rage machine. He generates so much rage. He's shooting your skill off so often. He is an amazing commander. Definitely pick him up. Now, my second Season of Conquest commander will be actually Arthur. Now, Arthur is a new-ish commander. He came out a couple months ago, and he is busted. Probably the best field commander in the game, I'd have to say. He is completely insane, and he can be used in multiple scenarios. He's a good primary, he's a good secondary. Around Joan Arthur, Who Arthur, Arthur William, Arthur Philip. He's just amazing. He has AoE cab commanders. There are not many of them. So, especially one this amazing, you should pay attention to. You gain flat march speed, and when you're attacking a unit, you gain attack and health. You gain combo attack damage if you're primary, skill damage if you're secondary, and if you're attacking a troop on the field, these are multiplied by 3. 30% combo attack or 30% skill damage. That's insane. If you remember YSG, he had 50%. So this is just barely behind that. He gives rage reduction and march speed reduction, and he adds a combo attack. Passive skill, if he's a primary and if he's a secondary, you get an additional damage, which scales off skill damage. So you can also run him with the Delta formation if he's a primary, and if he's a secondary, you only need the wedge. So he's just amazing and super versatile on the field. Next up, we'll actually be looking at Philip. Now, I believe not too many people invested in Philip right off the bat in my kingdom, which makes sense. He's a buffer, but his real value comes from being a secondary commander. If you look at this expertise skill, whenever a commander uses their active skill, they have a 40% chance to use their active skill a second time, and whenever the other commander uses the active skill, they have a 20% chance to trigger it. So he's just generating active skills out of nothing, either his own or the other commanders. So imagine you get really lucky and you shoot your active skill off. Imagine this procs like 3 times in a row. You're just be doing so much damage. So he buffs 5 allies, and these are ×2 for his own troop. 20% damage reduction, 40% bonus damage. He gains a ton of stats, and look at this. He can be used for every single troop. He can be behind Zuge, he can be behind Luche, he can be behind Arthur, he can be behind almost every single commander he can go behind, and it'll be great. BQ, he's just amazing. So this is actually a really cool ability because there's a little bit of a mechanic that you can do. So let's say you're running Luche Philip, and as you can see, if it has 2 troop types, you gain 5% march speed. It's not actually 5%, it's 15 at the max. And then if you have 1 troop type, it deals 30% more damage. So what you do is you actually run a full march of infantry plus a tier 1 cab or something, and you get the 15% march speed running to the ball, and then as soon as that tier 1 cav dies, you get the 30% damage bonus. It's a super interesting mechanic and honestly amazing. And he has a direct damage factor that reduces rage. It's amazing. Philip is amazing. And the last commander on this list is actually Zuge Liang. Now I was actually debating whether to put Zuge up here, but I found his worth that he's actually a great field commander, he's a great rally commander. Honestly, he could be probably used in the garrison. He has circle AoE, you gotta remember that. He's good for barb chaining. He got a pretty good damage factor, not amazing, not bad. Circle AoE though, decent stats, another skill damage bonus, a little direct damage. I don't really understand how this effect works, but what I'm guessing is whenever you use an active skill, you get the marquee ability. And then when you use the active skill again, it just does direct damage. It sounds pretty good. Oh, as you can see here, you get the marquee when you enter combat. And it looks like whenever you do skill damage with either the 4th skill or the 1st skill, you gain extra rage. And I think it stacks for both. It doesn't look like there's any cooldown on that, so honestly amazing. I think I want you to pick up Zuge Liang, even if it's just for chaining barbs. If you're chaining barbs, 1-1-1-1 is fine. Maybe 5-1-1-1 is a little bit better, but it's not terrible. For some honorable mentions on this list, I'm going to put Asher because he can be used in rallies and on the field. If you invest in him, you get 2 things, and same with Borgo. Garrisons on the field. Borgo on the field is actually surprisingly good, just a little bit slow, which is unfortunate, but what can you do, you know? And I will put by key on this list as well, because as you can see in the picture, he's really large AoE, and he's probably one of the best commanders in the game right now. Him paired with Luche is absolutely crazy. Probably the best ball fighting march in the game. I highly recommend him if you have the spare gold heads. I think you need to expertise him, but I also believe 5-5-1-1 is good, so he's not too many gold heads if you want a decent march. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.